Determination and fortitude, we have a man we would like to introduce you here, Alex Littlehales, joining us for the very first time. Alex, a heck of a time to join the WRAL family out there live for us in Johnston County. What are you seeing?
Well, no other way to make a debut than through a winter storm. And from what I'm gathering, one of the few that this area has really seen in quite some time, right? So we're live here in Smithfield, Johnston County specifically, and we have been talking about Johnston County a lot through our coverage. Why? Because it is an area that we're gonna frankly need to watch a lot of this afternoon and through the evening for a lot of reasons. One, take a look over my left shoulder. About a mile that way, that's I-95, okay? So you can see some of the road conditions here on the main drag of Smithfield, but about a mile that way, that's I-95, and we know that that is a corridor that is going to potentially get more rain, and those roads are going to potentially get more slick as this weather could potentially come back later this evening. You know, that's another issue for Johnston County that we're looking at specifically. This is one of those eastern counties outside of Wake County that we are potentially expecting that the lingering effects from this storm, 6 o'clock tonight to 2 in the afternoon, or 2 in the morning, overnight. So it is potentially a much more long lingering storm for the eastern counties when you go to our viewing area. And so again, what you're seeing, some of the real-time conditions here on some of these local roads, they are not impassable. I don't want to make people think that it is impassable, but they are slick and there is ice in some spots and there is snow. But I'll have my photographer pan down here. I think it's worth noting that something that we have noticed just in the last hour or so is that there's actually a lot of snow on the roadways, on the sidewalks here, melting down into the grates here again. So we are in downtown Smithfield. A couple other issues to watch here for Johnston County specifically is power. We talked about power outages, right? Well, earlier this morning, we know that there were roughly 100 plus people dispersed throughout the county that did not have power. We actually just talked to some of the officials with emergency management here in the county. We're going to talk to them actually after we finish our live hit, but they tell me that the number for those folks that are still without power down to roughly 60. Okay, and so obviously both of those, the melting snow and ice here and less folks without power, that is a good indication, right? And so, but again, we do have to wait and see how this storm tracks throughout the rest of the afternoon. And we have been here downtown actually just kind of catching a lot of people who are actually enjoying some of this snow, including a pair of sisters that were actually trying to find a creative mindset and use this snow for some creative photography. Take a listen.
I can't remember how old I was. It's probably like five or six, and it was, you didn't have anything to do. You didn't have all that stuff, so it's kind of nice. You get to go walk around now.
Yeah. If I can get any quick.
Yeah, so what you just heard there is, I asked the sisters there, the Lewis sisters, do you even remember the last time there was an ice and snowstorm here in North Carolina? And, they frankly said one of them had not even been born yet. The other was a very small child. So people are not typically accustomed to seeing the kind of weather we're seeing here across the triangle. But again, that's a real-time look at the conditions here in specifically downtown Smithfield, but Johnston County. We're going to be hunkered down here throughout the afternoon and evening, giving you just as real-time conditions as we can. But for now, live in Johnston County, I'm Alex Littlehales, WRAL News.